Today, I'm very delighted to welcome you all to one of the highlighted panel discussions, Powerful Tools to Empowering an Inclusive Future for All, where we'll be having discussion, sharing about the entrepreneurial ecosystem and technology to empower and sustainable inclusive future with me, your moderator, Punyapaviso Komvisit, or you can call me Prim, along with our honorable panelists today, Ms. Chanti Alexander, Policy Programs Manager, APAC at Meta, Ms. Sudarat Rojphongkasem, General Manager at Social Enterprise Thailand Association or SE Thailand, and Ms. Methawee Thatsanasateankit, Chief Executive Officer at Vulcan Coalition. Thank you for being with us in this celebration event. Hi all. Today, I would say that today's discussion would be very beneficial to our futurepreneurs and all the youth out there. And because this is, very inclusive event since the starting of this program, because we're gonna have the panelists with diverse background, experience, and perspective in the role of platform provider as Meta or Facebook before, the connector of social enterprise as SE Thailand, and one of the rising star in AI social enterprise in Thailand as Vulcan Coalition, which is very inspiring to all youth and interesting to kick off our panel with Kun Jun or Kun Methawee. Hi, Kun Jun.
Hello.
Hi, Kanchan. So let's start off with you first. So I think Vulcan Coalition is something still new for the reputation, but it's one of the rising star currently. So what's the journey?
Okay. As a law student in Thatsanasateankit University, I have a chance to study with blind friends his name is Pinu. I witnessed a lot of his obstacle to access to learning material. Imagine if you close your eyes, how can you read the law book that have more than 1,000 pages? At that time, I volunteered to read the book for him. And surprisingly, while he passed a lot of the subject with high score, I failed many of the subjects. And this is the evidence that TWD, they have ability to achieve in many things, but because of they have less opportunity to access to many material, and it block their hidden potentials. This inspired me to found Vulcan Coalition, the AI startup that aim to provide the job opportunity for PWD across Thailand.
Wow, that's like very inspiring. Like, so it's like you notice the origin and the problem, and then you start solving with your technology and stuff. Wow, very interesting. So I believe that you must have like some lesson or something that you would like to share, because like part of this is like we are people with don't have any disabilities, but like you notice that disabilities people have these certain problems and you go there and fix it, and this is the way that you enhance the inclusivity. But I'm wondering, like, what's the origin that you make, like that you feel like the technology can enhance that inclusivity? Do you expect this since the beginning?
Not really, but I see some statistics that there are about 300,000 PWD in Thailand in working age. They are unable to access to labor market, and therefore they cannot sustain their life. Why AI industry, we lack a lot of workforce who doing one job called data labeling. This job require people to preparing 1 million data set for training the smart algorithms. Therefore, I see this as an opportunity that if we could reskill PWD with the right skill set, we could match them with the company who are looking for many workforce to help them complete this work. And this year, we be able to training about 2,000 PWD, including blind, deaf, and mobile ability and autism, to training many type of data for 50 leading company in Thailand, such as Agoda, Shopee, Centron, King Power.
Wow. So it's like many partners now, and we will get back to that in a deeper dive in more detail with that. Yeah, but I see this as like AI social enterprise in Thailand, and we also have like some other roles as like a platform provider, Meta with a Facebook platform as well. So let's have the discussion together. Miss Shanti, yeah, I'm wondering, what are the top key success to create a societal change positively and impactfully as a platform provider? Because now we have to see like as a role of AI, social enterprise, and now how about the platform?
Well, first, thank you so much for having me here. I was so excited by the start and to see all the work that the Futurepreneurs have done. And also hearing from Kun Methawee, I think it's really inspiring to see what you've been able to do with Vulcan Coalition. Just to kind of step back and share a bit about Facebook or Meta, our goal and mission really is to give people the power to build community and to bring the world closer together. And I think that really underscores the value of a platform like ours in being able to support people as they look to support their communities by bridging them with access to resources, to tools, and to opportunities. And I think that's true broadly, but in the spirit of this conversation around inclusion, I think it's even more true for people who've not traditionally had access to those types of opportunities, maybe due to geographical distance or due to discrimination or due to disabilities. And I think it's really inspiring to see how community leaders are able to use platforms like Facebook or Instagram or Messenger and others really to support their communities in ways that are very meaningful. So a couple of examples from across Southeast Asia, because I know we have this wonderful region represented really well in this group. We've heard stories of people, for example, an entrepreneur in East Indonesia who really wanted to support the local farming community there because she realized that the price of the produce they were producing, moringa, was lower than what it could be. And so she came up and designed these beautiful products around chocolates and drinks and various types of things using that product and use social media to reach customers abroad, something that traditionally would have been quite difficult or quite out of reach without platforms like ours. And in doing that, was able to build the demand for the produce of the farming community there. I think we've also seen entrepreneurs, like an entrepreneur in the Philippines who at the start of COVID realized that COVID could have a really devastating impact on businesses of all sizes and started a community on Facebook called Bounce Back Philippines. And now that group that he started has 65,000 people. And I think we all know that those types of resources and the resilience that communities bring during these really difficult times is just so important. And so many other examples from Thailand, from other countries across the region of people supporting communities and understanding what they need. And I think your question is really around what the success factors are for these types of platforms. And I think, like the technology is one part of it. It really helps kind of create more equitable access to these types of resources. But the key success factor really is the people using those technologies and how they are able to kind of step up, identify what the needs of the communities are, very much like what Kun Methawee has done, understand what the needs are, step up and bridge those gaps with technology and other resources as well, and also bring other people along for the ride and start a community and a movement around that. So I would say really it's people and futurepreneurs actually that are a key part of this success factor.
Wow, that's really nice. So we see like across the regions there are like a lot of things going on, as the case example from Miss Shanti or like even Kun Methawee that has her own AI social enterprise. And now how about the social enterprise Thailand? Let's have discussion together. What's the key results or like the core value or like the motto that the social enterprise should have or like should notice? Because we see from like, okay, observing from the problem that they have, dive in, join in, and trying to make it more inclusive and more diverse at the Meta. And for social enterprise, what are the key sources there?
Hi everyone. Thank you for having me here too, and nice to meet family of face like Kun Jun here, and also nice to meet Kun Chanti. Your both of your work are really inspiring. So to answer your question, I think to so maybe I'll talk a little bit about what Social Enterprise Thailand do. So basically, we are a network or membership-based organization. So it's the coming together of social enterprises here in Thailand. And I think what we see in common for the people who come together is that collaboration is the key in growing social enterprises here, because I would say like a lot of social enterprises, they take the same journey as SMEs. And some of them identify themselves as social startups. So for example, like Vulcan coalition from Kunjun, it's also going through the same journey as other startups. And because we are adding like the social and environmental aspects into the organization, it's become even harder. Like the journey that other entrepreneurs are having, we are having it double, because we are concerning about so many things. We are concerning about inclusivity. We are not only doing like negative screening of things, we actually do positive, and also trying to tackle all the social and environmental problems. So you could see that the cost of social enterprises could be really high. And because coming together would also help each other and enhance the impact, the scale. And it's also the way to actually pool and get buy-ins or support from the outside sector too. So for example, like a project that we just be able to launch last year was during COVID-19. So we get back to entrepreneurs in our network and ask them like what are happening, how are they feeling, and all of them are talking about the problem of that cash flow and the obstacles in accessing finances in whatever form existing in the market, because they're not able to access it, even with the soft loans, because they're not the existing customers or clients of the banks. So what we do is we actually pull a database of social enterprises in our network, and then we knocked on some key players, some banks here in Thailand, and ended up being able to partner with the government saving banks in issuing a special conditioned loans for the entrepreneurs in our network. And so far, we were able to help about 7 social enterprises, and the loan value is about 23 million baht, which was not able to be accessed before. So I mean, the power of collaboration like this would help social enterprises and social entrepreneurs in basically starting up their business, or even growing, or like trying to get by during crisis like this.
Wow. So I think like so far, like as a listener and seeing like all the results, I think like the result is like you get more than like expected. But I believe that the futurepreneurs would like to see the process before becoming this I would say reach a milestone, or like at least like in the initial phase of being like called successful. I can use that because like you hit the milestone, whether it's like inclusivity, diversity, or like support entrepreneurs, because I believe that banks, financial, or even the space for them would be very limited, particularly like if you're social enterprise and startup. So like I'm wondering, let's begin with Kun Sudarat. What's the process look like? Is it like difficult? Because like when we're dealing with a bank, the process would be kind of hard. And like on top, like we're talking about bringing the social enterprise or the startup in. That's it even more difficult. How?
I see it as a challenge, but also the opportunity too. I think the most important factor here, and which kind of come out during our survey last year. We did with TDRI and British Council. The result of it came up like really surprising, because we asked this question to the entrepreneurs in our network, like, what's your like, please rank 3 of the top challenges you face at the moment. We expected money would come first, right? It did, but then what ranked 3rd kind of surprised us a lot. They say it's the awareness of social enterprises, like the understanding of the public or even customers on social enterprises. So we see that part as a challenge, and that's how we go into the bank and say, please look, how are these entrepreneurs helping to shape our future, and how you might be able to be part of it by supporting them, rather than you need to come up with new projects which you have to go on and have trial and error. These people are able to demonstrate the impact they're able to deliver. So why are we not supporting them and help making a lot of entrepreneurs like this out and help them to scale their impact? So I think awareness is something that is a challenge, but because there is still the gap there, so there is also opportunity. Imagine if we are able to bring more people to understand what social enterprises are, what social entrepreneurs are doing. Like, the support is going to come into this sector a lot, and it's also complying with the new trends too. Like, businesses or consumers, they cannot do the same thing they used to do before. We are all moving forward in this new trend, and so like, my bottom line is that what's the challenges before can now become our opportunities, and we need people like you all here, like the people who join Futurepreneurs, to go along that way and moving the world into the other directions.
Wow, that's really nice. Yes, and I believe like Futurepreneurs, like so far it's like almost like 2 years already. So they have been with us, and they have like since the beginning initiating ideas and project, and some event already executed. So the challenges and then change it to be the opportunity. I think it's like the great concept out there. And I believe like Kunjun, I think like you have like experienced that before, like since the beginning of Vulcan Collision. I'm wondering like to me, like the social enterprise focusing specifically for the disabilities is pretty rare in Thailand. How come like you just like ignite that idea out and like keep doing it consistently until like become nowadays?
Because I have a lot of PWD in my circle, and I witness how their life changing by attending our program. For example, one PWD who is about 50, around 50, he just starting learning AI and get the first job. It's the first time of his life that he can have a sense that he can sustain himself and can contribute to his family. And I think it's something that value more than money. And this amazing story is my inspiration to keep doing my job, to keep doing my work, and how can we, as a new as a future entrepreneur, can leverage the ability of technologies to give the opportunity to people, to underprivileged people.
Wow. So I would say it's like part of like it's just like from starting from like the circle that you see, but I think that there must be like some top challenges. What are they?
Since I'm not blind or not deaf, it means that I am unable to understand everything about them. And in order to create the technologies that they be able to use, it means that I have to go do a lot of research, do a lot of interview, and try to understand them. Also, I recruit PWD in my team to do some research and to develop the program in order to create the base programming that accessible for them. For example, for blind people, they can listen the podcast very fast. And at first, we create the program that can choose the speed about 2x than faster than normal speed. But the blind people in my program request me to to add more speed for the program, because he told me that the 2x speed is still slow for them, because normally they listen to about 3 or 4 speed. This is the great example to show that for me, as the one who are not blind, I just think that 2x speed is fast, is super fast, and sometimes I'm unable to listen it. But for blind people, it's normal for them, and they need more than that. The great lesson that I have learned is when you're talking about technologies, you have to go to the basic thing that you need to understand the behavior, the strength, the weakness, the limitation of the beneficiary first. And when you can understand it, you can create the great technology that's suitable for them. Because the great technology is not the most advanced technology, but it is the technologies that can help people, that people can access and can make the life changing for them.
Wow. Oh, yeah. I do agree one thing that like once like you make product for like the person like you, it will be very easy. But like when you want to do something that is like not even you, it will be harder, as Kunjun has said and tell us. So I think it's very inspiring, because like even me, like myself, like imagining and doing the enterprise, like I'm not that relatable, I think would be hard. So I have noticed that these are like things that discover from like even Kun Methawee, Kun Sudarat, that like see the real challenge and like jump in out there. And also for the as a platform provider, as a Meta, I think it would be like also some challenge too, like especially like when jumping to like the APAC, where like the startup or social enterprise might be like small. Any technique or tips that you like would like to share, or like telling us like some maybe challenges that Facebook might face?
Actually, I'd just like to echo really what my co-panelist was saying, because I was just completely in agreement, I think, both with what Kun Sudarat was saying around partnership and collaboration, and what Kunjun was saying about really understanding the community. Because for me, I run programs across the Asia Pacific region, and I think the context in every country is so different that local partners that really understand the community where we are running these programs are critical to the success of the programs themselves. And I think that's one of the biggest learnings I've had, really being able to find partners that understand the communities and also that share the same vision that we have. And also having like good principles of partnership around transparency and sharing the principles of how you would like to conduct business, how do you like, what you think impact is, I think is really key. Keenan Foundation Asia actually is one of our key partners, and we've worked with them for about 3 years now. And I've just been like, I would hold them up as a gold standard of partners in terms of being able to share with us a shared vision of, for our programs in Thailand, for example, we wanted to make sure that diversity and inclusion was at the center of all our programs, and that we were making sure our programs as well, same as the platform, was able to reach people across the community who maybe historically might not have had access to these types of solutions. And I think Keenan has done a fantastic job of working with us to bring on various partners, including Social Enterprise Thailand, to run our Boost program, and to make sure that people with disabilities, people from the LGBTQ community, people in Hill Tribe areas also have access to this type of programming. So I think, you know, it is challenging running programs and really trying to meet people where they are. And I think partners that understand the context and share the same vision, from my perspective and what I do, really critical. And I hope that like learning also translates to social entrepreneurs.
Well, agree. Like jumping in without like no background, like the local and stuff, learning new thing, it would be quite a big challenge, especially like being like a platform. Like I think like that there are many platform providers, but why? I'm wondering like why Facebook or like Meta are trying to focus on the inclusivity and diversity.
I think it's born into our company vision and mission, actually. So we're a mission-driven company, and what that means is that every part of the company really focuses on supporting community. So, my team focuses on running programs. There are other teams that work on pages or groups and different types of solutions there. But really, it's kind of embedded in the DNA of the company that our role is to support communities across the globe. And I think we're very uniquely positioned in having such a strong kind of popularity amongst people, with so many people across the world using our services. So we're actually really able to connect people across countries, and I think people see the value in that, and that's why it's a nice kind of place to work, actually, because that social kind of mission is built into everyone you meet at the company. And I think it just is like a belief that we shouldn't leave anyone behind, and we should be bringing opportunities to as many people as we can in various ways.
Wow, really nice. Yes, and like as a Facebook, like I remember like I registered like my own account since I was like, I think, yeah, but legal age to register into like the
13.
platform.
So I hope you were
Yeah.
13 and above when
And
you
it's like
joined,
such
but
a long time
yeah.
in like the old platform. So like I noticed like the objectives in like enterprises and organizations has changed a lot and start trying to focus more in inclusivity and diversity as much as we can. And I believe that is like one thing that we are trying to creating here in this Futurepreneur program. So I believe that this would be very crucial to all the futurepreneurs and youth who are listening right now. Any key message to the young generation, because they have the big passion, they have their own project, and they like put all effort in to make it work. So let's begin with Kun Methawee. Any message to them?
I would like to tell them that don't be afraid to fail, because I think failure is one part to success. And I failed to many projects before I found the right model for help PWDs. I test many type of models and I failed. But what I do when I had failed is I ask myself, what do I learn and how can I do better next time? And I also apply the build measure learn on our development team. This concept help us don't stop uh, doing the new thing, testing the new thing, and exploring the new opportunity to create and initiate the breakthrough or innovation to help PWD in our program. I think as an innovator, failure is like your friends. You just have to know how to uh, how to go along with them and how to manage the failures. And I think it's like don't give up and you can be a success.
Okay, so don't give up and keep going. So countless failure is like very normal, right? For the social enterprise or like startup, because it's like that's why like startup and starting and growing. Okay, so let's continue with Kun Sudarat. Any key message to the futurepreneurs?
Okay. So I myself is a salary woman for my whole life. So maybe I'm not the good one to talk about this topic, because I think Kun Methawee has already given a really good advice and suggestion for you all. But what I can say is like maybe to do something totally different from what I do every day. Because working in organization or uh, uh, we tends to be like really cautious and careful with everything, trying to be systematic, having all the structure. But I think that's not something to do in the very beginning. Like Methawee said, you have to really fail fast and learn it fast. So what I learned from entrepreneurs in the network that I'm working with, they're actually having the same attitude as Methawee was talking just a little bit before this. So all of them are like really failing fast, pivoting fast, and for example, like I think local like is going to be on the upcoming panel somewhere, right? But
Yeah.
for example, like local, like during they're in the tourism industry, right? Hitting what was hit most hard during this COVID. So I think I've seen same kind of businesses that ended up saying that, okay, we are going to wait a little bit and see how it turns out. But then it turns out already two years now. But like entrepreneurs that are successful, I never see anyone wait for tomorrow. They start doing everything today. So yes, maybe don't follow me, follow Kun Methawee and do everything today.
Oh, thank you, Sudarat. But I think like one thing that like you got to learn like from the organization is also like really important, and kids would get to learn. Like if you're starting out and maybe fail, okay, and have some financial problems, then maybe you have to jump into like full-time salary women or men out there. But I think like every place is a place to learn, and also from the Meta as well. I think Kunchati, anything that you would like to share?
Like Kun Sudarat, I'm also a salary woman, but I will maybe just share a message of support, I guess. Like, first of all, I just want to say thank you to the FuturePreneurs. I think it is actually very inspiring as someone who has been working in organizations my whole life to see people who, like, by virtue of being here, are already so mission driven and focused on social impact at such a young age, and taking steps to really realize that dream. And I think that in itself is very commendable. And I just wanted to take a moment to kind of recognize that. I think the other part of it is really, I think this point on collaboration is really important. And I think, you know, there's a very famous phrase around like, if you want to go quickly, go alone, and if you want to go far, go together. And I think that's very true in a lot of different circumstances. And I think it's wonderful that this YSEALI community already is a community that FuturePreneurs can rely on and support. And I would just, I guess my message is just make sure you rely on that community, share your successes, and also share your learnings and your failures, because then I think that your journey will be a very rich one. And I am very excited to see what you all do.
Yes, and that's the panelist for us today. Wow, you see that it's like very inspirational, and you get to see like failure is okay. You know, if you face any challenge, change it to be the opportunity. And team is always important as well. So that's a panel discussion for today. Powerful tools to empowering an inclusive future for all. So thank you all of you, Ms. Shanti Alexander, Policy Program Managers APAC at Meta, Ms. Sudarat Rojphongkasem, General Manager at Social Enterprise Thailand Association or SE Thailand, and Ms. Methawee Thatsanasateankit, Chief Executive Officer at Vulcan Coalition. So thank you all of you for sharing and inspiring us a lot today, and let us see your journey in like short 30-minute session, and that is like very wonderful.